Hello and welcome to the one-stop co-op shop, your one-stop for co-op news and playthroughs. And today I'm playing through Marvel Champions. I'm so excited. It's a release day. It's not just a release day though. It's a triple release day. We got Mutant Genesis, we got Phoenix, we got Cyclops all coming out today. This video I'm going to show you Phoenix. Pay attention to the main channel here. You'll see a Cyclops video as well. If you want to see the other two new heroes, which are going to be Colossus and Shadowcat, those two videos will be on our one-stop co-op shop stream channel if you want to see first playthroughs of those. But let's get started. I am so excited. New heroes, new villains, new campaign, new everything. Now we're not going to play against a new villain on this campaign. We are playing against one of our old favorites, not that old, Ebony Maw. So we're doing wizard on wizard action here. So we're starting with Jean Grey. So I'll be honest, I'm not a huge, I used to watch the cartoon in the 80s and I certainly saw the first few movies. I know who Jean Grey is, I know who Phoenix is, but I don't know as much about X-Men as I do about the Avengers, so I'm super excited to learn about them. And please let me know what you think about the X-Men and how excited you are for them entering Marvel Champions. I'm just super excited for new Marvel Champion stuff, honestly. One last thing before we get started, I am playing on Tabletop Simulator, but we own everything we play here, and please do the same. Do not just get them on Tabletop Simulator. Certainly it's a great way to play across great distances. It's also a great way to record, honestly, so you can get zoomed in on everything. That's the reason I record on this software, but at the same time, I fully encourage everybody buying all this stuff. In fact, I scanned and uploaded all this just for my own personal copy, just so we can go through this today. As soon as I got home, I scanned everything up so that way we had all the cards to play with. So super excited to see what Jean Grey is doing. So these first time videos, I do not play the hero ahead of time, so if I make mistakes, I apologize, but you're really here to see my reaction, to see what all the new cards look like. So I'm excited to get these to the table for the first time. I try to avoid spoilers as best as possible, that way you really do get a true feeling of what I think the first time I see these cards. So let's get started. Alrighty, so Jean Grey, she's 3 recovery, 9 hit points, 6 hand size. Let's see, hand size is 5 on the other side, so pretty standard hand size here. Setup, put Phoenix Force upgrade into play on the restrained side face up. Place 4 power counters on it. Well, I guess I will need power counters then. And is this the restrained side? Yes, it is. So, permanent, you gain the restraint trait. Force response, after the last power counter is removed from here, flip this card. Alrighty. And that's Phoenix Force on this side, and then we have the Unleash. So this is the restrained side. This Unleash permanent. You gain the Unleash trait. Phoenix gets -2 thwart. Well, that means she has a decent thwart. Yes, she does 3 to begin with, and +2 attack. So she flips her stats. She goes from 3 thwart 1 attack to 1 thwart 3 attack when she is unleashed. Force response, after a power counter is placed here, if there are 4 or more power counters here, flip this card. So you're placing counters on this side and you're removing them from this side. Alright, so let's see how that works. I assume that's either part of our cards or part of our main card. Response, after you make a basic recovery, place a power counter on Phoenix Force. So that's one way to get a power counter on here, is to recover on this side, get health back, which is always good. 3 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. Psionic Bond, hero resource. Remove a power counter from Phoenix Force to generate a wild resource. Limit once per phase. And that's once per phase, not per turn. So you can do it on your turn, and you can do it on the enemy turn if she has any defensive cards in her deck, which I have no idea, again, because I have not looked at any of these cards yet. Let's start by drawing our hand of 6 cards. Plus I get a spell in front of me. I should probably figure out what that is. Alright. White Hot Room, it's a 2-cost support, alter ego action. Exhaust it to place a power counter on the Phoenix Force, which remember we can use as a wild resource, which seems good, or heal to 2 damage. Well, don't need that early. You got Phoenix Firebird, hero action. Choose to remove a power counter from Phoenix Force to ready Phoenix, or place 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. Okay, so you could ready her on her beatdown side. Well, I guess you could do it on either side, or you could place counters on it. All right, which are, again, wild resources. So you're kind of spending 2 to get 2 counters, though, because you have to spend the card itself plus 1 resource to pay for it. So you're really spending 2 to get 2 here, but hey, not going to complain if you need those counters. I guess if you want to move back to your restrained side, I don't know the benefit of restrained. Yeah, it doesn't say anything, so I'm assuming you want to be restrained. You probably don't want to be going nuts the entire game. Well, I guess you get more thwarting and stuff when you're restrained. So, alright, Telekinetic Shield. Attached to a friendly character. So it's an upgrade. Forced interrupt. When attached character would take any amount of damage from an enemy attack, place the damage here instead. Then if there's at least 5 damage here, discard the shield. Oh, nice. That's nice for a 9 health character, actually. Downtime, we've seen this, but not with this art. So that's one of the unique parts about this X-Men set. They're all going to have unique art, even if we see a card. So +2 recovery, not bad. And wow, telepathic trickery. We're getting a lot of these Phoenix cards to start with. Hero action thwart. Remove 4 threat from a scheme. If you have the unleash trait, stun and confuse the enemy. Woo-hoo-hoo! Maybe I don't want to be restrained. Stun, confuse, remove 4 threat for 2. Yes, please, and thank you. Holy moly. All right, well, let's see what's going on here. We got a fireball. Enters play with 4 invocation counters on it. After the last invocation counter is removed, deal 4 damage to your identity. Alright, so I gotta decide which of these I want to keep. I'm not gonna keep downtime. This shield seems pretty good. Phoenix Firebird seems good, but it seems like more of a later game option. I don't need to thwart very much, and I only have 1 attack right now. Trickery, again, I don't need to remove those. That seems really good once I've unleashed. So let's see more cards. I've seen 2. I'm definitely getting these 2. Let's get 4 more cards and see what those look like. So this is a new Justice card. Psychic Manipulation. Play only if you have the Psionic trait. Let's see, where am I traded? Mutant Psionic X-Men. So yes, I am. Thwart. When the villain schemes, this activation removes threat instead of placing it. And it's an interrupt. It's not a hero interrupt, so that's important. So you can do it on other players' turns in hero form, but you could also do it on your own if you're in alter ego form, which seems nice. So not only do they not add, but they actually subtract instead. Seems good. I don't know why I discarded it. I'm not allowed to do that. I've already mulliganed. Seems good, but doesn't seem good early. Mission training. Attached to an X-Men ally. Max 1 training per ally. Attached ally gets +1 thwart and +2 hit points. What? Alright, that's a lot for an upgrade of 1. Nice. Cerebro. Play only if you have a mutant trait, so I can only play it on this side, can't play it on my X-Men side. Alter ego action. Exhaust Cerebro. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for an X-Men ally. Search the whole deck instead if you have the Psionic character, and add that ally to your hand. Okay, so that's just get a free ally whenever I'm down. Yes, please. And Mind Control, which is an upgrade attached to a non-elite minion. Take control of the attached minion and treat it as a controlled ally with a blank text box. Its thwart is equal to its printed scheme, and it takes 1 consequential damage after it thwarts or attacks. Okay, that's really good, but it's really super duper expensive. Alright, well, let's start. I'm going to play Cerebro right from the beginning, and I want to see what allies I got here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this alter ego action to, yep, you guessed it, search my entire deck, and I am going to pull out every single ally. So after searching through her deck, I found 4 different allies. Let's see what they are. So we got Banshee, who is a new Justice ally. After Banshee thwarts, confuse a minion. 2/2 for 3. 4 costs a little expensive. Marvel Girl. Interrupt when Marvel Girl attacks a minion. Remove X threat from the main scheme, where X is that minion's printed scheme. Very neat. So she could attack for 1 and remove threat from the scheme. Storm. 5 cost. Wow. Ariel. Reduce the cost to play Storm by 1. If your identity has the mutant or X-Men, so that would only be 4. Interrupt. When Storm thwarts a scheme, move 2 threat from that scheme to another scheme. That's in addition to her 2 thwart. She gets to move 2 more to a different scheme. That's interesting. Pretty expensive though. Cyclops. 3 costs. Response. After Cyclops enters play, and this is my signature ally, place 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. Now, that's putting counters on here. I kind of feel like I want to flip over to my Unleash side at some point, but maybe similar to Star-Lord, maybe you want to wait to do that till later. So we'll see. Maybe that's a thing. After Cyclops enters play, you place 2 counters on it. Force Interrupt. When Cyclops leaves play, remove 2 counters from Phoenix Force. Interesting. Well, 2/2, that's really good. I'm going to take that into my hand. The rest are going back in the deck. So let's shuffle those all back in. I feel like I wanted White Hot Room too. That's a free power counter. Well, free, quote unquote. I don't think I care about any of these, although giving 2 hit points to Cyclops is pretty sweet. I did want the shield also, though. Well, let's do this. I'm going to do 1/2 to put in White Hot Room, because that's only alter ego. So I'm going to place a counter on there. So that gets that up to 5. And then I'm going to flip. Finally, flipping. Remove one power counter to generate a resource limit once per phase. So I can only do that once. That means I cannot get up to the 3 to pay for Cyclops. Which means maybe mistakes were made earlier, but that's okay. We're just going to hold on to Cyclops, and we won't hold on to mission training. I don't need extra thwarting, especially with my 3 thwart. Right now, I'm just going to thwart for 1, which I actually thwart for 3, which seems kind of bad, but whatevs. That is turn 1. I'm going to discard mission training over here just so we could see more cards, really. I might have held on to that to really buff up Cyclops, but let's see what kind of cards we draw. All right, so we're going to draw our hand back up. Passion for Justice to a Strength. We got Downtime, another Downtime, wow, and another Psychic Manipulation. So, yep, well, Psychic Manipulation. So this is interesting. This is the only interrupt we've seen. Now it interrupts them thwarting one of my schemes. So when I'm face down, I can actually go face down. It's almost like a protection card for Justice. Haven't seen that before. It's kind of neat. All right, so we're going to add 1 threat to the main scheme. Then Ebony Maw is going to attack us for 1. Then you're going to boost. Ooh, Shadows of the Past. Bye-bye. So I'm going to take 3 damage, and we're going to remove a counter from this spell. I believe it's after they activate, right? When they activate. So that might actually be before. So we would have removed a counter first, then done that. But let's go ahead and draw a card and see what we get. Quick Strike. Oh, no. After Supergiant attacks and damages a character, that character is stunned. Well, I don't like to see that. Plus, I don't have a lot of attack going on here. I don't like that either. All right, so Quick Strike for 2. 1, 2. Well, shoot, maybe I will put in Downtime. After Supergiant attacks and damages a character, that character is stunned. Well, that doesn't make me happy. That is for sure. All right, well, let's see what these cards are. Oh, I got a Strength. So again, new art for Strength, which is awesome, just a double resource. Max 2 per deck. When you spend this card to play a thwart event, that event removes 1 additional threat. So if you're doing it only for thwart events, you can do it for additional threat removal. Do I just attack to get rid of that? I think I'm going to flip over, but I want to use a counter here. So let me do that first. So I'm going to use one of these counters and Strength. That's a total of 3 resources to put Cyclops into play. After Cyclops enters play, place 2 power counters on Phoenix. So I am back up to 6. Then I can't use my resources on my other side, but I feel like I want to heal up. So then I'm going to flip down. I'm going to use Cerebro to find another ally. The only ally I have in my deck that costs 3 is Marvel Girl, so the only thing I'm going to be able to do here if I want to get an ally in is use Marvel Girl. So I'm not going to get the benefit of this because I am not using it for its threat removal. Definitely going to use that as a resource, and bye-bye Downtime. I guess I'm not going to use you, but I do get a second ally in. What I am going to do, though, is use this White Hot Room over here to heal 2 damage from Jean Grey. So that gets me up to 6. And then I am also going to recover for 3. That gets me up to 9. And I kind of wish I had that anti-thwarting card in my hand now, but I don't. So we'll see what happens. Alrighty, so let's see what Cyclops is. After he enters play, place 2 power counters on myself. I did that. So we're going to attack for 2. We're going to attack Supergiant over here. So you take 2 damage, Supergiant, and unfortunately, Cyclops takes 1. When Marvel Girl attacks a minion, remove X threat from the main scheme where X is the minion's printed scheme. So she's going to go ahead and attack because it doesn't make sense not to. So that goes up to 3 damage, and then we're going to remove up to 2 threat from the main scheme, but they only have 1. I've used all my stuff, and so I am good to go. Let's go ahead and draw our 6 cards, ready up, and see what the enemy's gonna do. And let's see if we have any. Oh, we do have this Psychic Manipulation here, so we'll have to think about that. The villain schemes deal 4 damage to the villain. So it's a hero action only. So again, this card is actually almost terrible in solo unless there's an advance. I think advance happens, yeah, even when you are in hero form. But otherwise, that's only going to be it's super helpful in multiplayer games if you are up and the other person's down. So that's kind of neat. Let's see, team up Cyclops and Phoenix. Oh, I have both. Ready Cyclops and Phoenix. Choose to either return Cyclops card from your discard pile to your hand or place 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. Return a Cyclops card from the discard pile. I'm sorry, that's if you're using Cyclops, you get one of his cards back. All right, play only if you have X-Men, hero action thwart. All right, we don't need to worry about that. Hero action attack, the villain schemes. We can't do that because hero action. Telepathic trickery. Remove 4 threat. if you have unleashed Stun and Confuse. Well, that's not going to happen. All right, so first things first, we're going to add 1. Then he's going to scheme for 2. I don't think I want to spend 3. I don't know, though. Because actually, if I don't spend the 3, I'm in trouble when it comes to Super Giant's going to set it off. Well, first things first, we'll remove a counter from here. Super Giant's going to set it off. And I didn't confuse right now. So it's going to be 2, 4. So literally only if it's a 0 does this not happen. So maybe I do Psychic Manipulation when the villain schemes. This activation removes threat instead of pacing it. Seems expensive, but I'm not going to need this trickery then. So that's, we'll do it. We're going to do it. So 1, don't need that, and I don't need this. Both of these redemption cards I don't need. We're going to Psychic Manipulation. So that he will remove instead of adding. So that's 2 plus, woo, that would have popped it right there. So instead of adding, he's going to subtract 5 from the main scheme, but of course that doesn't happen. All right, so we are going to add 2 though, because we have Super Giant over here. Then we're going to draw an encounter card and Alter Ego action. This card gains Surge. Next one is going to be a spell, which also gains Surge. Play with 2 invocation counters on it. Let's see what it does. After the last invocation counter is removed from this card, discard a card at random from your hand, and you are confused. Well, I don't like that as a Justice player. That doesn't make me happy. But what makes me less happy is this card also surges. When revealed, remove an invocation counter from each spell environment in your play area. If you have no spell, okay, I do have spells. They're both going to go down to 1. So I'm about to get confused and discard a random card, and I'm about to get blasted for 4. Good news is I am all the way healed up, ready to go, really. So let's do this at the beginning of my turn to give myself an invocation counter. Like that. Let's do this to search for an ally. Not going to get to play that ally. I just don't have enough resources. But getting an extra card in my hand is never a bad thing, and maybe I hold on to that ally for next turn. Banshee would have been awesome last turn. After Banshee thwarts confuse a minion, well, it would have been nice to confuse Super Giant, because then maybe I wouldn't have had to play all those cards to reduce that threat. But honestly, if I hadn't done that, then yeah, that would have been real bad also, because that threat would have basically killed me. Or at least advanced the scheme, not killed me. I wouldn't have lost. Alright, when Marvel Girl attacks a minion, remove X threat from the main scheme. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that to attack Super Giant, get up to 4 over here, and that will remove 2 threat from the scheme, because that's Super Giant's threat. Alright, then I'm going to flip over, play only if your identity has X-Men, exhaust your hero and any number of X-Men allies, remove X threat from among schemes in play where X is a total thwart of those characters. That's kind of neat. It's a way to use your allies without getting rid of them. But let's see, team up. I do have this. To add 2 power counters to Phoenix Force. Ready Cyclops and Phoenix. So I get to ready both and do that. Alright, so I'm going to do this to attack for 1. Goodbye, Super Giant. You are gone. I'm going to do that first. Then Cyclops is going to attack for 2. 1-2 damage. And then I'm going to go ahead and use one of these counters. So go back down to 6 to ready myself. Cyclops. I'm also, so that's 1 that I paid for it. I'm going to pay a second one here and do this. Team up with Cyclops, which ready both of them, and then place 2 counters on my Phoenix Force, which puts it back up to 8. I'm going to do all of that stuff. Now I am going to go ahead and attack for 1. And do I have Cyclops attack as well? I'm going to lose those 2 power counters I just gained. I mean, let's be honest, I'm up to, wait a minute, I went the wrong way there. Actually, I didn't. Yeah, no, I was at 7, went up to 8. Wow, that's a lot. Is it worth 2 damage, or do I use them as a chumper, knowing that I'm taking 4 damage here? You know what? I'm going to hold on to Cyclops, so not do anything. I'm also going to hold on to Banshee in my hand. All right, so let's ready up and draw up. I get 4 cards, although one of these is going to sadly be discarded. More downtime. Genius with new art. Mutant Peacekeepers. Play only if you have the X-Men trait. Thwart, exhaust your hero and any number of X-Men allies. We just saw that. And, oh, attach to an ally, +1 thwart and +2 hit points. That'll be nice to get on Cyclops if I can. All right, we are going to add 1 threat here. Ebony Maw is going to attack me. First things first, these spells go off. So let me flip these spell counters over and see what happens. Starting left to right, deal 4 damage to your identity. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bye. For the last one, discard a card at random. Oh! You know what? I was stunned. So let me take back that 1 damage that I did. I would have had to get rid of the stun when attacking, and then I would have been able to attack again to defeat it. It all works out. I know you all were screaming at the screen. Sorry for that, but fixed it. Alright, so after the last invocation counter is removed from manipulation card, discard 1 card at random from your hand, and you are confused. So let's start with confused, and hopefully this time I remember that I'm confused, and then let's discard a random card, which will of course be my double resource, because why wouldn't it be? Although honestly, I don't really, I did want to do this mission training, and I wanted to do Banshee. So yes, that does mess with me. I'll only be able to do one or the other. Probably be Banshee though. Alright, so now as the attack goes off, I'm already at 5 hit points. I don't want to take any more. Marvel Girl's going to take that damage for me. It's 1 plus a boost of 0, which is sad that it only blocked 1 damage, but that's fine. It is what it is. Alright, let's draw another card. So we have a scheme here. When defeated, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put the minion into play, engaged with the player who defeated this scheme. So it's 2, and it's got an acceleration token on it. Alright, 2's not that bad. After Banshee thwarts, confuse a minion. Well, I don't have a minion. I do want the extra thwarting, but I also love to keep Cyclops around. Yeah, this is a tough choice, but I think I'm just putting Banshee in. So that's cost 4. We'll use 1 counter here. And we will discard 1, 2, 3 over here. So I am going to thwart 2, get rid of this. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you put a minion. Put that minion in play, engage with the player who defeated this scheme. Alright, boom, boom. And we're going to discard and put them into play, engage with us. I don't like that. No, I don't like that. Oh my gosh. Mistakes were made. So I can only do 4 damage here. I could confuse and then flip down and do a little healing. Use Cerebro to get a card in my hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm going to do this to thwart. Get that down. Which will put a confused on Black Dwarf over here. Cyclops is going to punch Black Dwarf in the face to go to my discard pile. So that will be 2 damage done. I really need to get rid of these counters. I just got rid of 2 of them, so that's a thing. I'm going to flip down. I'm going to use this to heal myself for 2. And I am not going to use Cerebro. I will use that after I draw up my hand. And that is that. I am done. Alright, so let's ready up and draw up. Ooh, what's all this? Rise from the Ashes. It's an upgrade. When you would be defeated, remove this card from the game, ready your identity, and restore it to its printed hit point value instead. Remove each power counter from Phoenix Force. So yeah, it goes to the Telekinetic Attack. Deals 7 damage to an enemy. If you have unleashed this trait, this attack deals 2 additional damage and gains overkill. Man, I want to unleash so bad right now. The villain schemes deal 4 damage. That would be nice. Energy, nice. Ooh, mental paralysis. Hero form only. Attached to a non-elite minion. Attached minion cannot activate. Force response. After you flip to alter ego, discard this card. Oh, so I can give him analysis paralysis or mental paralysis. That's kind of neat. Alright, well, I got some options next turn because... Oh, and I'll probably get my last ally out of my deck too. Alright, we're going to add 1 threat. The Ebony Maw is now going to scheme. I can't do anything about that, so that's 2 plus 0, which makes me happy. It's only 3. So now Black Dwarf would try to scheme, but confused. Not going to scheme. Alright, let's draw a card. Do not draw in advance. Alter Ego. Place 1 threat on the main scheme for each spell environment in your play area. If there are no cards placed this way, this card gains Surge. So, there are no spells. Black Order revealed. Discard a card at random from your hand. Well, that doesn't make me happy. Let's see what that card is. Oh, Telekinetic Attack. 7 damage gone! What? Sad. Sad days. Very, very sad days. But I'm sitting at 3 health, which doesn't make anyone... Wait, Didn't I heal 2 last turn? I definitely should have healed 2. I feel like I was at 5. I definitely was. And instead of healing 2, I got rid of 2. All right, that's where I should be. Okay, so let's figure out where I am going now. Because there's a lot of stuff in front of me. And I don't like all of that stuff. And honestly, I just want to flip over and become a Phoenix. But let's search and get our last ally out here, who is Storm. Storm is more important than even this attached to a minion stuff. 2/2, she can move threat around. I like all of that. She's not going to do that. She's going to punch things in the face. So I'm going to use this to get ahead and recover 2. Let me go and flip over. And I'm going to bring Storm out. So I'm going to spend, I only need to spend 4 because reduce the cost by 1 if you're a mutant or X-Men. And I am. So 4, so this is one of my 4. 2, 3, 4. Yes, that works. 2, 3, 4 to put out Storm. So 1 came from my resource. And then hero form only attached to a non-elite minion. Well, is this one elite? It is. So I'll just attach to you. And you can't do anything because you have mental paralysis. Attached minion cannot activate. All right, so we're going to attack this time for 2. So that's 2 damage there. We got 2 more over here. And that will get rid of Black Dwarf. Bye-bye. And then I'm just going to get rid of my confused. Because I don't want to be confused, honestly. And that puts me in a much better place, I feel like. Let's go ahead and ready up and draw up. Anything I could do on their turn. So that's a bunch of thwarting. Phoenix suit. Ooh, Phoenix gains aerial. While you have the restrained trait, you gain steady. Yeah, that would have been nice when I was stunned and confused. While you have unleashed trait, you gain retaliate 1. I really want to get unleashed now. I need to get rid of these counters. They don't go away fast enough. Plan on your identity. If you have an X-Men trait, exhaust this hero any number of X-Men allies. Remove X threat from among scheme. Yeah, we know this one. Ooh, Telekinetic Attack. That's a 7 damage attack again. Wait, can I spend? No, only if I'm unleashed. I don't want to be not unleashed. Heroic action, deal 4 damage to the villain. If you have unleashed trait, deal 4 damage to each minion engaged with you. What? What? That is so good. I want to be unleashed. Why am I on a leash? I don't like it. Ah, man. All right. I want these counters gone like yesterday. I haven't seen a negative for it yet. I'm sure there is one, though, somewhere among all of these things. And if I don't find one, I'm definitely going to look through the deck at the end. I might do that anyway. I don't typically, but wouldn't be too bad a thing to do. Yep, so I'm no longer confused. There is 1 on here, so we're going to add 1. Then the villain is going to attack. I am going to block that attack with Banshee. Good thing I did, because that would have been a couple extra damage. So, yep, I took no damage there, and there were no counters to take off of spells. This minion just doesn't activate. And, oh, 1 reveal. Discard a card at random from your hand. Oh, thanks. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. So this first one is Dumbstruck, but this next one, not so much. All right, so we just discarded Mutant Peacekeepers. Well, that would have been nice, actually, to remove 5 threat. Oh, and that works even if I'm stunned or confused or whatever. Yeah, that would have been actually really nice. Well, maybe I use Storm to attack instead. Anyway. All right. So oh, Telekinetic Attack. I really want to do that. But I should get Phoenix form. Oh, so much choices. Oh, Psychic Blast would have been nice if I was not restrained, but I feel constrained by being restrained. I don't want to be restrained. All right, so back to my turn. We're going to have Storm attack and defeat this Outrider here. What am I going to do? Well, I thwart for 3. I may as well do that. Boo. Thwarting. I want to do tons of damage. I don't want to hold on to all this, and I want to burn this down. All right, so I'm going to use one of these counters. So that's 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do this. Attack, deal 7 damage to an enemy if you're unleashed, which I'm not. So 7 damage is still 7 damage. Yes, please, and thank you. I'm being so restrained this game. What is going on? I don't want to be restrained. Constrained, restrained. I feel it all. All right, I am going to hold on to Phoenix Suit because I do feel like that's important. Steady, not so much at this very second. But as we've seen, steady, good thing. Ooh, another Psionic Blast. That's nice. I do have to take an encounter card, though, when I draw through my deck. Got some more downtime. Ooh, Psychic Manipulation and Telekinetic Shield. That Telekinetic Shield would have been nice earlier. Might put it out next turn. All right, so Ebony Maw attacks me. Attacks for 1. I'm just going to take this. Plus 2 more is a total of 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And then you just sit there and do nothing. Now we're going to go through the enemy's 2 activation cards. The first one, the Villain Schemes. Okay, so this would be bad. I am going to use this Psychic Manipulation. I can use a counter when I'm using it as a defensive. I'm going to get rid of downtime. I used 1 counter, so that's 2. I got to pay 1 more. I'll use my shield. Wah, wah. All right, so I do this, so they're going to thwart. And when the Villain Schemes, it removes threat instead of placing. This is so good, by the way. That's real good. So it's going to remove 3 threat. I mean, it gets rid of advances, things like that. You know, Justice really needed that. We'll talk about it in our post-stream discussion, but that really makes me happy. We got a Guarding 4 health or hero. When defeated, give the villain the tough status card. Boo. Boo, I say. All right, so back to my activation, which is going to be super duper exciting. Could get closer to unleashing. I mean, I am going to get closer to unleashing no matter what. We'll go ahead and do this. We're going to get rid of Psychic Blast to put on the Phoenix Suit because I feel like that's important to do. I only do 2 damage, which makes me a little bit sad. I can do a total of 3, and I guess I have to. So it's 2 there, 1 there. You know what? Do I even want to attack with Storm? Could use Storm just to chump, although I should probably flip down. Yeah, I'm going to flip down. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to attack for 2 with Storm. Does this let me search my discard pile? Deck. Your whole deck. Alright, so it's going to be 2. 1 more damage for me would be a total of 3. We'll go ahead and try to get rid of this Black Order Infantry. Now watch, I get the manipulation where I get to take control of this. And it will already be 3/4 dead. Oh, when I flip down, that's going to get rid of this too, which means this becomes more dangerous. So actually, we're going to have Storm attack and kill this Outrider instead. So this Black Order Infantry only has 1 damage. So I did 1 there and 2 to the Outrider. Because when I flipped down, that would have... oh, yeah, I did attack. So then I flipped down. I'm not going to find an ally right now. What I am going to do is heal myself for 2. 1, 2. And call it a day. All right, let's ready up. Draw 6 cards. Wow, that's a lot of swift redemptions. That is sad. Remove 4 threat from scheme. If you're unleashed, stunned, and confused, hopefully I can unleash myself. I want to unleash. So bad. All right, so we're going to add 1 threat here. Ebony Maw is going to scheme for 2 plus another 1 for 3. 1, 2, 3. That was just enough to save me because that is 1 more with Black Order Infantry. So that is up to 5, but not 6. All right, let's go ahead and draw the bad card. It's a spell, so it gets a surge. But let's see which one it is. It's going to start with 3 counters here. After the last is removed from this, exhaust each upgrade you control and you're stunned. Well, thanks. I mean, I'm never getting rid of this restrained stuff anyway, apparently, so won't matter. Gosh, I need to get rid of it so I can do 3 damage and hurt you and kill you. So, but that did get Surge. Let's do this. 1 reveal, discard an upgrade or support you control if no cards upgrade or support. Huh. Do I just get rid of my suit? I mean, they're stunning and confusing me a lot. And retaliate would be nice. Do I get rid of Cerebro? I kind of want to use it this turn to get me an ally. So no, I'll just get rid of my suit, I guess. So I'm no longer aerial. I didn't see any cards that really required you to be aerial anyway. So that's a little sad. Let's go ahead and, again, I don't want counters, so I will heal myself. We'll use Cerebro to find an ally. And the best one seems to be Cyclops for me. At least for the way I like to play right now. So after Cyclops enter play, place 2 power counters. Oh, but I don't want that. I don't want that. That's all right. I'm going to kill him off. It's fine. Nothing to see here. 2 power counters. Oh, that would put it up to 4. All right, but I'm going to use 1 to spend to get Phoenix, get him down. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to do 3 damage. 1, 2, 3 damage. Get rid of this. Puts tough on the villain. Which is fine, I guess. I need a way to remove 4, which I had. Telepathic trickery. Yeah, I'll do that. So telepathic cost me 1, 2 to do telepathic trickery, which removes 4 threat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty. Well, let's get going. Let's keep going. We've seen all the cards now, so I got a pretty good idea what this deck wants to do. The only thing I want to do is unleash. It seems hard to unleash. Like, I don't know. It feels like something really bad's going to happen from me being unleashed, so I don't know. Like, I want to unleash, but I'm not sure that I actually want to unleash. Let's go ahead and add 1 threat here. They are going to attack me for 1. I will just take that damage. Oh, well, first got to remove the counter from there, so that's going to be a total of 2 damage. That's fine. I'm a phoenix. I rise from the ashes. I don't mind your little tiny bit of damage there. Attached to Ebony Maw, prevent all damage from Maw. After abjuration, prevents 2 or more damage from a single attack. Discard it. Okay, I got Marvel Girl. When Marvel Girl attacks a minion, remove X threat from the main scheme where X is that minion's printed scheme. Downtime I don't care about. Ooh, I also got Banshee. Confuse a minion. So 2, 2, 3, or a 2, 1. Well, I need thwarting now. I don't need thwarting. I don't need anything. I need to attack. The villain schemes deal 4 damage. I just want to punch you in the face, villain. So I can't use these because I'm on my Phoenix side and I'm staying on Phoenix side. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 damage right here. That gets rid of Abjuration. And then I'm going to plink for 1 to get rid of tough. So, thwarting is really the main thing I care about here. We could do 1, 2, 3 to put Marvel Girl into play. Well, you know what? May as well pay the 1 more, right? Pay the 1 more. Oops. And put Banshee into play. And then I'm going to pay Marvel Girl to put Downtime into play. So when I heal, I'm going to heal for 5. That way I can use these to get counters. If I really want to get counters, it seems like, because we'll see what happens. Maybe once I go nuts, something really bad is going to happen. So far, I don't see it. But we're going to go ahead and thwart for 2. Bink, bink. All right, let's ready up, draw up. Ooh, forgot about this card. What is this? Remove a counter from Phoenix Force to ready. Yes, please and thank you. I could remove 2 or place 2 counters on it. Yeah, no. I don't want 2 counters on there. I do have Psychic Manipulation also, which will let me use 1 on the enemy turn. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy about all this. Oh, it's not going to let me because there's 0 chance he's thwarting. He's going to attack me. All right, so he's going to attack. I am going to block with Cyclops, which is immediately going to flip me out of Phoenix Force. Do I really want to do that? Not knowing what bad things will happen? I mean, I'm a fly by the seat of your pants kind of person, but I have 7 life, so no, I'll just take this attack. So that's total of 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, 7 damage, overkill, all that. It's coming, it's coming. What does this do again, anyway? After the last, exhaust each upgrade you control and you're stunned. All right, whatever. All right, so let's see my bad card. It's a spell. It starts with 4 counters. It's going to blast me for about 1,000,000 damage in a second. 4 damage, which is enough to kill me right now, by the way. So let's not have that happen. But it does surge into this. Another spell that comes in with 3 counters on it. So let's see what this one does. After the last counter is removed, exhaust each upgrade, and I'm stunned. Well, wonderful. I don't want to be stunned, and there's a lot of stunning going on over here. 1 reveal, move 1 invocation counter from each spell environment in your play area. Well, that is a shame. All right, so remove from pacification, discard it, exhaust each upgrade you control, just upgrades, and I'm stunned. So there's that. Pacification. Oh, these are supports. Wait, what? Exhaust each upgrade. Oh, these are all supports. That's an upgrade. And that's an upgrade, but that doesn't even matter. It doesn't exhaust. So, oh, that really just stunned me. But Oh no, I don't have my suit anymore, so stun does mean something. I was about to say, stun doesn't even mean anything. Ha ha ha, ha on me. I'm still not restrained, or I'm still restrained. I could remove a power counter from Phoenix. I could remove 2 just by doing this. And then my attack would be really good. And then ready Cyclops and Phoenix. So I can do this. So let me do this first. So let me do something with myself. Let me get rid of my stun. Then I am going to do my team up card here. And this says ready Cyclops and Phoenix. Choose to either return Cyclops card, which we know we can't do. Place 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. Oh, actually, I don't want to do that. Oh, why did I do that? Wait, do I have to do it in that order? Let me see if I can do something else first. No, I guess that's what I'm doing. So that's up to 4 counters. Great. This is not what I wanted to do, but I do want to do a Telekinetic Assault, which is 7 damage. We'll use 1 of the counters for that, and then we'll use 1-2 cards to get me up to 7 damage. Could have been 9. Well, I didn't need 9 anyway. What am I worried about? All right, let's advance this sucker. See what happens. When Ebony Maw activates against you, remove it. We know that. Each player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until they discard a spell card, puts it into their play area. Let's get ourselves a spell, shall we? 'Cause I'm your private dancer. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Comes into play with 3. So the last one is removed. Wait. Deal 2 damage to each character you control. Well, I don't like that. I like my allies. They are helping me. I don't like you not helping me. It makes me sad. Alright, so I still have all 3 of my characters I can do stuff with. Do I want to get rid of 2 of these counters? Why not? Cyclops, you've served your purpose. Let's start beating down the enemy. Alright, that's 2 damage here. And I lose 2 counters on this bad boy, so that puts it down to 1. That's alright. I still have 1. I'm still restrained. I'm still fully in control. By the way, I only have 4 hit points, which I don't love. So that's 2 damage there. Let's go ahead and attack for 2 more. And I will... Do I thwart? I'm going to thwart. For 1, I'm going to flip down so I don't die. I'm going to heal myself for 2 with this. And I'm not going to Cerebro. I'll do that next turn. All right. We're good. So I have 1 counter. Back down to 1 counter. See if I can do something. Do I have that card? I do not have the card. Remove 4 threat here. Unleash, do a bunch of damage. Oh, give my ally hit points and stuff, which makes me happy. Add or subtract power counters. All right, we're going to add 1 here. And then Ebony Maw is going to scheme for 2. Plus a flip of 1, so total of 3. 1, 2, 3. I should have removed these counters first, but that's okay. At least I remembered to do it. And then we're going to draw our encounter card. Oh, deck is empty. All right, so that's my boost card. And so this is my encounter card. Discard an upgrade or support you control. I get rid of downtime. That's fine. I don't know that I was going to use it anyway. I got another one in my hand. I got 3 downtimes in my deck. All right, so let's see. We are done with that. So now back to our turn. Let's go ahead and use Cerebro to search for an ally. Do I even have an ally left? I don't. That's fine. Shuffle it up. We will heal 2 here. 1, 2. We will flip over. And do I want to unleash? Well, there's no real anybody in front of me. I do want to put this upgrade over here. So let's talk about how to do that. And I could stun and confuse an enemy. Yeah. All right. So we're doing all this. All right. So I'm using Phoenix Firebird to put this here. So now Banshee has +1 thwart and +2 hit points. Seems good. Now I am going to I want to flip. I want to use this. So I'm going to use my last Phoenix Force counter to unleash. I get -2 thwart +2 attack. I'm going to do that and use Passion for Justice to remove 4 threat from a scheme, but that would actually remove 5 because I'm using that Justice. That's alright. There were only 4, so it wouldn't have mattered even if I had missed that acceleration. But stun and confuse somebody, which seems good. Seems real good to stun and confuse the villain. And punch the villain for 3 now that I am unleashed. I think I want to hold on to Psychic Blast, so I'm just going to discard downtime and call it a day. Oh, I still have Banshee over here who's going to attack for 2 damage as well. 1, 2. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Things seem to be going well. I got this Psychic Blast. I'm finally unleashed. Wow, that took me a while to get there. Woohoo! Telekinetic Attack. Mind Control. If I got Psychic Manipulation to save me if I need that. Alright, so let's see. We're going to add 1, 2 because of the acceleration. Then they are stunned, so they are not going to attack, so none of these go down at all. Then we flip this, which is a side scheme. One revealed, each player must choose to either take 2 damage or place 2 threat here. So it'd be 3 or 5. You know what? I'll take the 2 damage because I don't mind flipping down. They're confused. So I'm only going to put 3 there. That'll be fine. Unfortunately, I don't thwart for 3 anymore. Stupid Justice deck. Why aren't you thwarting more? So that was the enemy's entire turn. And we're going to do some blasting because we can. So I'm going to spend 2. Well, I don't have 1 here to spend anymore. So we'll have to, or actually I just want to do this restrained attack. Let's be on, or telekinetic attack. That does 7, 8, 9 with overkill. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3 to do 9 damage with overkill. Oh, and that is death. All right. So I unleashed. I could have done 3 more damage. I could have done 2 more damage, and that would have been good. All right. So what's the negative? I mean, I guess the negative is you can't thwart as good anymore. I mean, there's got to be a negative, right? Let's go ahead and search for my obligation card. So let's see. Maybe it's in this obligation card. Give to the Jean Grand player. When revealed, if you are unleashed, trait, search the encounter deck, discard pile, and set aside area for Dark Phoenix and reveal her. Okay. All right. Yeah, I knew there was a trick. I knew there was a catch for sure. Then remove Burning Hunger from the game. So this is your obligation. So, this is very different obligation than anything we've seen before. If you have the restrain keyword, remove a power counter from Phoenix Force, and this card gains Surge, and discard it. Alright, so you put in Dark Phoenix. So I assume that Dark Phoenix is my, is my nemesis. Steady, tough, villainous. 12 hit points? What? What? 12 hit points. So, all right. So I see a negative with being unleashed. Holy moly! 12 hit points. A 2/2 with villainous, steady and tough. Oh my gosh! All right. When Dark Venus schemes, place threat on Consume the World if able. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile and set aside area for Consume the World. Okay. So we're going to add in a side scheme as well. Permanent. While there is no threat on this scheme, it loses its plus icon. Oh, so it's permanent. It's got to stay in play. Force response. After threat is placed here, if there is at least 12 threat here, the players lose the game, and it starts with 6? What? So not only do you get this awful Dark Phoenix card out, you also get Consume the World at the same time with 6 threat on it? Oh, and that comes out if you either get your obligation or Shadows of the Past. Oh, Shadows of the Past turn 1 just took on a whole new meaning. Oh my gosh, that is brutal. That is just absolutely brutal. Oh my gosh. All right, well, let's get into some final thoughts here. Wow, that was super fun. Oh my gosh. So Phoenix seems very powerful. She seems like a lot of the other mystics in the game. They really like to make these mystics pretty powerful. Her unleashing ability is amazing. I mean, to do 2 extra damage and overkill, or that one card does 4 damage to everybody, being able to use those counters to really power herself up and get free resources every turn is also pretty good, although she has a pretty expensive toolkit. When she unleashes, she can stun and confuse with a card and remove 4 threat with that same card for only a cost of 2. That's actually cheap. Goes against what I just said here, but I don't know. There's just so many good cards here, but you have to be careful with unleashing. I thought it felt like something was a little off on that. So it's a little like Star-Lord here, where when you unleash, you are a very real, clear, and present danger threat of that card coming out and bringing out your Nemesis with 12 hit points, Villainous, 2 attack, 2 thwart. Whenever they thwart, they add threat to the scheme, that side scheme where if you lose it, you lose the game completely. That thing comes out with 6 threat on it as well. Oh, and it gives a bonus boost icon too. So it's not just there doing nothing. So yeah, oh, there is a lot to love about Phoenix, but man, her Nemesis set is brutal. So it looks like they're balancing a little bit some of these more powerful, these psychic heroes that they're coming up with some of these negatives as well, which I really like. But anyway, Phoenix is the first hero I've played out of the new pack, and she does not disappoint. I am super excited to play more of her. She reminds me a little bit of Star-Lord with the push your luck, like you really want to get to your Unleashed side because all your cards become so much better. But your obligation comes so much worse. Now, if you're already past your obligation, it's something I could have paid attention for. Again, first time playing the deck, I don't know these things. When I discarded my obligation, I might have done that very early in the game. I don't know. If I had done it early in the game, that means there was no real threat for me flipping over. So going to the Unleashed side would be really good. And then when the deck reshuffles again, better start working on getting that back in there. Or I guess once you draw your Shadows of the Past, those cards are going to come into the deck anyway. So they come in play anyway. I don't know. I don't want to see Dark Phoenix ever. Dark Phoenix seems very, very, very bad. So just an extra threat to add. But Phoenix herself seems very good, very powerful. It's good to see some of the old cards with new artwork. That's fun to see. I hope they continue to do that. I think it's an X-Men thing, but I hope to see it like even more so. Like I don't need to see the same strength and genius every time. Give us unique ones with the art of the hero they came with. That way, and it could even be the exact same art piece. That wouldn't bother me. That would be a nice way to like vary things up a little bit so we don't have a million of the same cards. But I'm glad to see that we do have some new strength and genius. Some of these Justice cards, let's talk about them. Really makes me happy that there is a way for Justice player to be alter ego. It's very expensive. 3 cost, that's 4 of your cards out of your hand. But to be able to anti-thwart when you're on your other side, not as thrilled about the one that does damage. I mean, it's not bad. 4 damage for 1 cost is actually really, really good on the cost curve, but in solo doesn't do a whole lot for you. In a multiplayer Justice deck where you're not the one flipping down, where you want to assist your other player flipping down, it's a great card. But that 1 card is very good. It's a lifesaver. It really can save you from